This is your Weather Extreme video for Sunday, November the 18th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. There's a look at the Trussville Skycam this morning from the Alpha Skycam network, and certainly a beautiful but crispy morning across central Alabama as temperatures once again dipping down to the freezing mark. And there's a look over the stadium at Tuscaloosa with another shot of a sunrise. We're still dealing, as we were yesterday, with high pressure centered over northeastern New England, making its influence felt all the way down into the northwestern Gulf of Mexico. So a very sprawling high-pressure system. We do have a little bit of a concern with some easterly flow that might bring some clouds, especially to the southeastern part of the state, but I think that for the most part, central Alabama will stay in the good weather. In the upper atmosphere, we're dealing with this closed low over just to the east-northeast of Jacksonville, Florida, just out in the southeastern coast of the U.S. in the Atlantic. And, of course, that's not having much influence on us, but it is keeping us in a nice pattern with cool temperatures. There's a look at the morning temperatures right around sunrise, and certainly crispy for many locations with a lot of 32 or 31 to 33 values across the Tennessee River Valley. I know at my house it was 31 this morning, so still a bit crispy. QPF, I think, pretty much has a good handle on the things for the next 5 days. We stay pretty much dry. We do have a couple of little disturbances coming by, but I think for the most part, just a few sprinkles. Storm Prediction Center is not outlooking any organized severe thunderstorms for the next several days. The morning 06E GFS model run, and there's the surface pattern for tomorrow, Monday, the 19th, and indeed you can see the high pressure continuing its sprawling effect across the eastern half of the country. Here comes a little disturbance in the upper atmosphere. We talked about this yesterday, but I think that the moisture is going to be very limited. So, indeed, I don't think we're going to see much in the way of precipitation, an increase in clouds, and maybe because the clouds are there, there could be a spit or two of precipitation, but I seriously doubt that we'll have anything to write home about. For Wednesday, that little trough coming by kind of digs in to the trough that's off the east coast, and as it does, we stay under a northwesterly flow. So the bottom line is we develop a surface high over Arkansas, and that surface high keeps us, or the upper flow keeps us in northwesterly flow pattern and northerly flow pattern. So we stay coolish, but not anything extreme. The ridge moves over us on Thursday. That's Thanksgiving Day, so look for an absolutely gorgeous day for Thanksgiving Day. Then by Friday, the ridge is over and just off the east coast of the U.S., and we are beginning to watch now the development of a fairly strong shortwave moving through generally the Dakotas, and that could be an influence on our Saturday weather. By Saturday, you can see that shortwave has deepened just a bit, strengthened, and it's now in the central Great Lakes region, kind of aligned with Lake Michigan. And with that, the GFS is suggesting that there might be a little bit of rain or some small isolated showers with that. And this is, of course, midday on Saturday. So the Iron Bowl is going to be in the afternoon from, I think it's about 2:30 is kickoff. So right now it still looks like the Iron Bowl will probably be dry. Now, interesting to note that the European has a whole different solution for this. It's definitely dry on Saturday. This is midday on Saturday. And the thing is, the European brings that system through actually Friday afternoon. So the European considerably faster than the GFS. So we'll be watching that over the next few days. And then by Sunday, the 25th, as we get into the Thanksgiving weekend, we can see that trough is off in the Atlantic, and we're getting a little bit of ridginess once again, and so we should once again be high and dry on Sunday the 25th. Now, looking out into Voodoo country, and we can see that there's a big difference from yesterday. If you recall, yesterday the GFS was developing a pretty deep trough off the west coast. That we don't see that now. It's much more trophy pattern over the eastern half of the country, as you can see, with what would probably be considered a long wave trough over the eastern half of the country. So that's not a cold look, but certainly a coolish look, and also wet. Now, we talked about that being wet too. And then we do get to the 3rd of December, and we talked yesterday about the southwesterly flow, and indeed it looks like we are getting a southwesterly fetch here with the flow coming off the southern Pacific, and that would certainly have another wet look to it, and maybe bring in December on a bit of a wet note. Well, that'll do it for the Weather Xtreme video for today. James Spann will be back with the next edition first thing Monday morning. In the meantime, I hope your Sunday is a good one, and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.